My talk is about different flavors. Wait a minute. Yes. So it's like food. You can have food in many different flavors. And the whole thing about this is that some say a word is dead when it is said. I say it just begins to live that day. And that is, this talk, is this brain candy, is about the meaning and the different meanings of the word creativity. I mean, most people think, when they are talking to somebody else about this, that it means what they think it means. And a word only means what people think it means. I mean, in Holland, we are the only country in the world where people sit behind a computer. In the rest of the world, they sit in front of it. And they also sit behind screens when they are talking about a computer. And everybody understands that and thinks they might understand that in other countries as well. But they don't. I mean, it has, the word creativity itself is a very interesting word. It first used in about 1850, then you find it in the Oxford English Dictionary. Before that, creativity was never used. It was only God who created. And then this word became a container concept. I mean, lots of things sort of flowed into the meaning of this word. And for instance, Freud called it sublimation. So he thought creativity is something when it doesn't go well. Jung, on the other hand, thought it was one of the 5 instinctual drives we have, like the other 4 are sexuality, action, reflection, and food. And one of his students, the psychologist James Hillman, he found out that there are at least 6 different forms of creativity. And these 6 are, I start on the right hand top corner, that is ordering. The second one is conflict, seeking freedom. The third one is success. The top left one is originality. Then there is problem solving, and the last but not least is the cyclic process. Now, what does it mean? It means this. People, like the Escher print in the middle shows, they have a certain idea about creativity and how it works. And the people, I mean, they're all right. Nobody is wrong in that. It just means that's the way you see it. And the top right, that is the patriarch archetype, it means method and ordering. I mean, the people who designed Excel worksheets, they have probably that kind of creativity. It also means that order is good and failure is bad. So you don't make mistakes, which is very different from the second notion of creativity, that is conflict. That is the artistic view, very often, in which the rebel who works against the standards and wants to do something else, something new, destroy the old to create a new thing. As Picasso said, if you want to get an omelette, you can't keep the eggs whole. The third form I mentioned there is success, and that is the image for outward success. It's also a notion which we live and enact when we grow up during adolescence. It is the forming of the ego, and for some people it becomes the goal in their life, and then it can become a bit complicated. The top left one is the one which is very popular nowadays, and that is the one about novelty, originality. So the archetype behind it is the youthful hero. I mean, it's Silicon Valley all over the place. And you just want to be original, you want to come with something new, and That's what counts. The enemy of that type of creativity is usually time. I mean, you can never stay useful your whole life. In your brain you may do that, but otherwise not. The fifth one, problem solving, has been the most dominant in the West. It means that creativity is 98% sweat, perspiration, and 2% inspiration. Given time and effort, you can solve anything. But it also is a form of creativity which goes after the fact. I mean, it is not for the future. It is solving problems which you encounter now. The sixth form is the cyclic process, which is the long-term vision. It's the vision which says that after prosperity, you got to take care that you invest, and then come the lean years, you will be able to deal with that. Now, you might ask yourself, what's the use of knowing this? Well, the use is the fact that if you come up with something new, it is very important that you find out what your opposite number is thinking about creativity. For instance, if you go with a new business idea to a bank, then the young entrepreneur probably is one who is very much on the right-hand side, the second one or the top left one. And at the bank, they'll probably think in a different way. I think probably it will be the top right. So you present an idea, and a bank certainly accepts the idea if they say a sort of thing like, well, a new idea is very good as long as it has proven itself in the past. I mean, that's the way they work. So you come up to certain walls which people have built. It's like the first Harry Potter book was rejected by 12 publishers. Probably some of them have committed suicide afterwards when they found out what a success that was. The same happened in Switzerland with the first digital quartz watch, which was brought out by Seiko, the Japanese company. And now the amazing thing is that the digital quartz watch was invented in Switzerland. But these people, they looked at it, the management, and they said, well, this is not, it's a very interesting thing, but it is not a watch. I mean, it has no wheels, it has no screws. I mean, this is not a watch. So they showed it just at the Lausanne fair. They didn't even patent the idea. So it was just there, and then Seiko and Texas Instruments passed by, and the idea, they took it over, and within the next 3 years, nearly 70,000 people became redundant in Switzerland. So it's just the idea with which you approach things. So my advice is to always be aware of what kind of idea people have about creativity when you have to deal with them. And if you know these different forms, then you will also be more flexible in being able to connect your concept, your idea, to the way, the frame of mind of these people, which will, then you will be able to convince them of the use of it. And the important thing is also that you will know which kind of creativity you can adapt in what particular situation. I mean, if you are working in repair or maintenance, it needs clearly a different kind of creativity than when you are in innovation. So knowing in which area you are working makes you very flexible in applying the right form. And I remember, I would like to end with remember that perfection is the end of good. I mean, never go for perfection, or at least you may go for it, but never stay with it. That's what I would like to say to you. Thank you.